Hi, I'm GG and Benitez, a certified international property specialist, helping guide American and Canadian investors on the incredibly lucrative opportunities of Dubai. Today, I have a very special guest on my show, my associate and partner here on the ground, Ahmed Ashfaq, to talk about some of the top areas in Dubai that you should have on your radar. This is season 2 of the Dubai Connect podcast. Hi, Ahmed.
Hi, Gigi.
How are you?
Good.
Thank you for taking time out of your extremely busy schedule, as I know this is a very busy time in real estate and has been for you here in Dubai.
Good to be here, Gigi.
Thank you.
Anything for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I am excited for us to talk about this because it's different than what somebody would find just by Google searching, and we can get into that. What are the top areas that investors back in the United States and Canada should be looking to that are maybe either up and coming or still very hot based on investing, whether it's capital appreciation or rental returns right now?
Good question, Gigi. And I think you would agree with me on this one compared to what we've been talking to with our other investors in the US and Canada. If you go on Google search and look up the top 5 top investment areas in Dubai, it will obviously show you downtown, Dubai Marina, Arabian Ranches, Business Bay, and Palm Jumeirah. Now, bear in mind, these areas, the reason they are on top 5 is due to the type of investors that have come into Dubai in these last 2 years, which happen to be, majority of them are billionaires. As you know, in Dubai, downtown, for example, there's no land to launch or develop any new projects. So it's mostly falling into a resale market. Same with Dubai Marina, same with Palm Jumeirah. So said that, it all comes back to what is it exactly your investor is looking to purchase with their bare minimum budget. Because at the end of the day, that's what our job is. You and I, we're supposed to tailor their portfolio. So said that, I personally feel that, especially in this last 3 years, we've been watching the market diversify just like that. I'm not talking about months and years here. I'm talking about 1 week. Downtown could be the top most wanted area. Next week, it's Expo City. Let's take Expo City, for example. So it all depends on which area is being more focused on by brokers. Because at the end of the day, I think us brokers, we are the ones who decide what sells or what should sell in Dubai. I don't know if I'm going to be executed for saying this, but I think we as brokers are the ones who create the demand for a specific project. We're on ground. We meet people. We meet investors. We sit, eat, dine, and spend a lot of time with them. So we understand what is it that they're looking for. And based on that, we advise what to sell. So at the end of the day, in reality, if you think of it, we're the ones who create the demand. And that is why it's very important what sort of brokers you work with, how experienced and how long have they been in the market. A lot of newcomers, not to step on the new brokers that are coming in our market, there are some who are doing a great, excellent job. But then there are brokers who are just selling for the sake of a commission. Let's be honest about it. So it is very important to choose the right broker who has been through Dubai's history and know how the market reacts every time a new community, a new project is launched in the market.
Absolutely. And that's where I believe we have such a great combination because you have been in the real estate market here for over 18 years. And for myself, what I'm doing is utilizing your incredible knowledge and experience and also understanding the concerns and the questions on the ground since I'm based in California with offices here as well. And I'm talking to the investors there and uncovering what are their objections, what are their questions, what are their concerns, and helping to answer all of those. And then being in touch with you, with not only what areas have performed well, but even more importantly so, which developers in those areas do you want to trust? So for an example, when someone comes to us and says, I want JVC, we're not selling them any off-plan project in JVC.
Correct.
We're only going to direct them to the ones that we have confidence on based on the knowledge, what they've delivered, their quality, and as well, since I am working with the Dubai Land Department, understanding who has the best profile, the best reputation, etc. So with that, Ahmed, I'm appealing to American and Canadian investors, and we want to know for the next several months, what are the top areas we should consider investing in based on its potential?
Okay, well, Gigi, in the last 3 months, I would say, especially the last 3 months, the market has been extremely active, and we could see a diversification in the market with as far as what type of investors are coming in the market. We're noticing that the Russians have slowed down.
Yes.
They've pretty much bought everything that they wanted to.
Yes.
So the upcoming areas where you don't hear much about, but that's where all the action usually we see now, or we have been seeing actually, is one, Dubai Creek Harbor. Okay, that's number one.
Love Dubai Creek Harbor. And we have a separate, if we can go through each one of these real quickly. Dubai Creek Harbor, I have a couple of videos and blog posts and another longer form YouTube of just showing it. You know this. I am just enamored because I feel it's a little bit, it's still in the heart of Dubai.
Of course.
But for me, it's a little bit away from the hustle and bustle, but yet you're on the water. You have the most gorgeous skyline, that iconic skyline view of the Burj Khalifa. The sunsets there are just magical.
You did see that yesterday while we were there.
Just beautiful. And then it's just all this developing beautiful high rises, all those cluster communities, very close to the water, close to retail shops, close to restaurants. So Dubai Creek Harbor is an amazing master community, very hard to get your hands on. And we have seen that.
True. But Gigi, one thing investors need to bear in mind when it comes to Creek Harbor, you don't necessarily have to purchase an apartment, a unit that is facing the creek directly.
Okay, yeah.
A lot of investors are under the impression that the only way I will gain capital appreciation or higher rental ROI if I only and only purchase something that is facing directly to the creek. When you are purchasing anything in Creek Harbor, you're purchasing it for the community itself, to be in the community.
Correct.
There's no doubt, of course, if you have a full creek view, there's no doubt, of course, you're going to get a higher capital appreciation. But then not everyone could afford to enter that price tag to get that particular unit.
And to go back to what I was saying about the view, is that you're right there on the water.
Exactly.
So it's a walking,
exactly.
You walk along the promenade.
You've seen how beautiful the community,
exactly.
the atmosphere, the ambiance itself, the community has to offer. Yeah. So after speaking to our investors in the US, I realized a lot of them hesitated to even enter Creek Harbor because they felt, okay, a creek view is too expensive for me. Let's look somewhere else. But they need to understand that no, you could own anything in Creek Harbor.
And it's going to be great potential.
It's going to be great. We've seen it already,
and
Gigi.
It's considered the new downtown of Dubai.
Of course.
So this is going to be great for short-term rentals, long-term rentals, and capital appreciation.
Indeed.
And it's being developed by Emaar, which is
Indeed.
one of the largest and most reputable developers in the entire world, right? I mean, right when you come in and arrive in the airport, Emaar, everywhere is Emaar.
Exactly.
And they are known for the iconic Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, and then the Dubai Mall, the largest mall in the world. It's hard to get your hands on a unit, but Dubai Creek Harbor. Okay, so that is definitely a hot area.
Second project I would compare very similar to Creek Harbor would be, which is in demand, is Dubai Hills. You've been to Dubai Hills and you know
Yes.
exactly what I'm talking about.
Beautiful.
People, again, once again, are under the wrong impression that the only way they will capitalize on buying anything in Dubai Hills if they own an apartment or a house that is either facing directly to the golf course,
Okay.
or it's facing directly to the community park, which is one of the largest parks, and so forth, or the lakes. Now, once again, you are not buying in Dubai Hills based simply on that.
On the views. It's-
Exactly.
Okay.
You're buying it to be in one of the most in-demand communities, family-oriented communities in Dubai at the moment. So if you could get your hands on anything, you should consider yourself extremely lucky, because previously I've seen that we've lost a few investors because they were not able to get, for example, a golf course view or a direct park view. They decided, no, I don't think that would be a good investment. Let's move on to somewhere else. That is a very wrong understanding of an investor when they think that way.
Is Dubai Hills, do you consider it also great for short-term rentals, or is it more long-term?
Dubai Hills
'Cause it's
is
family.
definitely not exactly.
It's not a tourist destination.
It's not a tourist
So,
destination.
but still long-term
indeed.
rental returns projecting.
Does very well. It gives you almost close to same around 8%
Perfect.
on annual basis.
And capital
But
appreciation?
capital appreciation, we've seen wonders in that area.
Right,
We've
and it will continue.
and of course.
And I do have a separate video just showing it, because I want people to understand what we were seeing when we're driving through, how incredibly beautiful. And I think some very famous golfers actually own in that area as well.
Correct.
And you're having an influx of sports figures that are purchasing, yes, in Dubai Hills. Great.
And then
the third?
Third would be, as you know, there's been a lot of buzz going on, Dubai Islands by Nakheel. Okay, that's where a lot of buzz, we are going to start seeing a lot more than
So
usual.
explain Dubai Islands geographically, right across from downtown.
Correct.
It's connected to downtown.
Correct.
Okay. Then you have Dubai Hills, which is still part of the center of Dubai, right?
Sure.
And then now you're talking about Dera, which is now called the Islands.
Correct. Which is called Dera Islands.
Dera
now.
Islands.
Yes.
And that's just a little bit further north from
It's where the old Dubai is.
Yes.
It's one of the parts of Dubai that I would say a lot of people do not visit.
I do.
You do, but a lot of people who prefer the glitter and the
Yes,
glamour,
they haven't been to that
they
part.
haven't been to that part. For most of those people, the max they go as far as is downtown.
Yes.
Anything beyond that,
Yes.
they
don't go.
They don't think it's appealing, or that's where they should be. And I think that's why the developers had this vision to, okay, now we need to divert most of these people to this part of Dubai.
Yes.
And because Emaar obviously has launched a great project over there in Port Rashid over
Rashid,
there,
right?
and now Nakheel has come on board. It's building one of a massive community and an island itself with all these different projects of itself. And I think this is the next best thing. It's definitely a long term.
And this is one of those where they should definitely, our listeners and viewers should listen to my previous episode that talks about the importance of an EOI, because you can go and Google and see what happened when they did the first set of launch.
Of these townhouses,
Yes,
they
and
were
people camped out overnight.
Yes.
So you have global investors that already know who Nakheel is,
Yes.
because Nakheel is known for the Palm Jumeirah, and they're known for Palm Jabal Ali, and now this third island area, Dera Islands. So it is one of those situations that it's hard to get your hands on, but it's possible as long as we do it strategically through an EOI.
Of course. It's definitely a long term. So anyone who's looking into investing over there and expecting good capital appreciation within the span of 3 years once complete. No, it's
This is more
definitely
longer term.
This is definitely long term because it's a massive community, a huge island that we're talking about, and it's going right side by side next to three major developments, which is Emaar, Port Rashid, then you have Maritime itself.
Yes.
So the entire infrastructure of that entire
Yes.
old Dubai, that part is
It's
going
just
through a
being
massive
transformation.
revamp. Exactly. So you can know it's not going to happen over time.
Yes.
So if you don't have the stomach for it
Yeah.
to wait more than 3 years, I strongly
This
recommend
isn't-
this
yes.
isn't for you. It's not your cup of
Got
tea.
it.
So once again, we're coming back to that same ideal part. Now, and the next one we're going to talk about is JVC, which
And that's not new. JVC has
Since
been
2005.
successful. Correct.
Yes.
But it continues to be successful.
Exactly.
And it continues to show high long-term rental returns. It is considered a suburb.
yes.
But how far is it from downtown Dubai?
When we say suburbs,
Yeah.
we were just having this discussion
Yeah.
with the American mentalities. Wow, suburbs way
It's so
out
far
there
out.
in the woods, an hour drive further down.
Yes.
No, it's not like that. When we say the suburbs, we mean the outskirts from the main hub. I would say, for example, if you would want to say between JBR to get from JBR to JVC, you're looking at 16 minutes drive.
And to clarify, JVC is
Jumeirah
Jumeirah
Village
Village
Circle.
Circle, for those who
Yes.
don't know. And it is more for people that are living here and long-term rentals.
Correct.
But still pretty solid for capital appreciation opportunities.
Of course.
And what is key, though, is to know which developers to invest
Exactly.
in JVC, because it is some of the most affordable opportunities in Dubai, but not all developers are made the
True.
same.
Especially for our first-time investors who
Yes.
insist on we want to try and
Yes,
test
with
the
the least
waters
amount.
with the least amount. And JVC actually has been working wonders for such investors of ours, where an average entry point for a one-bedroom would be around $250,000. And people need to bear one thing in mind, that the projects that are being launched today in JVC currently, they are delivering and providing some of the most updated, upgraded
Luxurious,
fit outs and
beautiful.
luxurious,
Yes.
beautiful finishing and
Yes.
fit outs, state of the art amenities. I mean, if you compare it to something that would be launched in, for example, in Marina, with the same fit out and finishing for that particular one bedroom, minimum you're paying close to 3.5 to 4 million
Yes.
dirham. And here you're getting the same thing, just not in the same area, for 1 million dirham.
I know you and I went into a showroom for one of these launches this week, and
Yes.
I could not
Yes,
believe.
I saw the look on your face, how shocked you are, because you had this whole different perception about JVC and what
especially
gets
because of the price points.
true.
So for me, I was not truly expecting that, and I walked in and I looked at the finishings and the quality, and I'm like, this is absolutely incredible, And obviously, we don't always have the opportunity to present what a show apartment looks like, but I'm glad I was able to see with my own eyes. And again, it goes back to how important it is to work with brokers such as ourselves. And you call yourself, it's referred to as a broker there, but for me, I'm a licensed realtor and a certified international property specialist. I'm not a broker, but in Dubai, we're called that.
Yeah.
That can help guide our investors on which developers, because you can have a Motel 6 brand next to, let's say, a Hyatt or a Hilton. They're both in the same area. Those are not going to provide
True.
you the same ROI.
The other misconception, Gigi, a lot of people have about JVC, if they are not living in Dubai, they need to understand that when you're investing in JVC, you are once again not buying into JVC for views.
Right.
Because we notice a lot
Yes.
of our investors in the US where first question was, is there a sea view? Is there the lakes
Yes.
around and so forth?
Yeah.
So said that, people, when they're buying in JVC, they need to understand they are buying in one of the finest projects. And the only views that we advise people to, for example, if they have that option, is if your building is facing a park, community park, by all means, you definitely choose a unit that is facing out towards the community park, because we have seen previously that the highest rental return and capital appreciation was given to those units that actually were facing either the community swimming pool, the community park, or just in basic community amenities in general. So that's what you are investing in there for. And it is definitely not an Airbnb community, because I do hear some brokers out there advertising and lying to investors that it will do great in Airbnb,
but it
which
won't.
is
JVC.
why we
Yeah.
had a few of our
Yes.
investors who asked us, how well would I do, or how much in return will I get in
Yes.
Airbnb? And to be honest, no, it's false advertising.
You know, this is one of the things that I love working with you about, is that when we have an investor and we're trying to help them strategize on where to purchase, we are not only particular about the area, we're not only particular about the developer, but you are extremely particular about the location of the unit within that development.
Exactly. It's very
I mean,
important.
it is incredible. Even when it comes to, let's say, Sea View, you're particular about what floor, you know, based on where you sit and do you get the view. And so there's that extra touch that we have together for our clients to help guide them on the most strategic decisions for the max benefit so that they continue to build their portfolio here in Dubai. So I really respect that.
Gigi, I'm sure I don't need to remind this to you. We're definitely not everybody's cup of tea. Okay, we've
I don't know
experienced
what do you
that.
mean? I am.
I will give you, I'll give you a good example, which took place recently. There was a client who basically came through your podcast, and he had already invested in a few properties over here. And when we were speaking to him, and when he mentioned the type of properties he had, they were the worst investment choices he could have ever made. And when we mentioned that to him, he got extremely upset. And that tells us that there are and there will always be investors who simply want you to tell them what they want
wanna
to
hear.
hear,
Yes.
rather than what they should know.
Yes.
And we ended up losing that
Yes.
client, and he got upset and he said, I'm sorry, I don't want to deal with you or even give you these properties to sell, because everything I mentioned to you, what I purchased, you're criticizing that. So said that not everybody out there will appreciate your honesty,
Yes.
you see. But so be it. We rather stay that way and stick to our morals,
Absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely.
because we are looking into long-term relationship with our
Correct.
investors, like we said.
Correct.
So in order to tell the client just for a sake of sale, to tell them what they want to hear, it doesn't work with me personally. And so you're the same way.
And I think it's a benefit of us not being in our 20s and 30s.
Exactly.
Is we've been there, done that with our careers. We have such a bigger vision with what we're trying to do.
True. Exactly.
And that's where it's such a great complementary force that I believe that we are presenting.
Indeed.
Right? So great. So there was one more that I believe you wanted to
Yes,
mention,
of
which
course.
I'm excited about. And I
Exactly.
didn't get excited until I came and you said, you're getting in the car. I'm driving you all around so you can
Yes.
visually see this, because I had this conception that it was too far out.
Exactly. And that would be the Expo City.
Yes.
And just like yourself, I had no idea what I was dealing with until I was told by my CEO to physically drive
Yes.
over there to experience what everyone has been talking about.
Yes.
And it was one of the best decisions. It was never my area. Dubai South is not my territory until I got to experience Expo City. And that's why I insisted that you
Yes.
come along with me for the second time to experience the same feeling, because Expo City is one of those places, unless you don't physically go there, walk around there,
It's hard to
visualize
it, right? It's
Exactly.
hard. And like, even you keep hearing Expo, World Expo, Expo City. How is this now a residential community?
It's way
I'm
out there. It's in the
confused.
middle of the desert. And
So many different
Yes.
conceptions. And then it's so cute how they take you around, right? That's part of their mode of transportation. Is You call it a
Exactly.
buggy?
Yes, we call
but
it.
it's a golf cart.
Yeah, golf.
But understanding that 24, I believe the number is 24 billion dirhams that went
Correct.
into Expo City. The
Building the
infrastructure.
entire
Yes.
infrastructure.
So the infrastructure is mostly built, which is the most expensive part usually about
Which is
a
very
community.
rare too, because most communities first start launching and selling the residential buildings, and then they start working
developing the
slowly
infrastructure.
develop the infrastructure.
Whereas this already has 30 restaurants that are already up and
Exactly.
running. It already has, the convention center that's there. It already has entertainment, gyms, etc. already happening.
Yes, you have a metro that drops it right
So
at
connectivity.
the entrance of your community.
And then you have these little bikes and
Exactly,
the little
electrical
scooters.
bikes.
And it's a pedestrian only city.
Exactly.
It is a sustainable living and it's
Yes.
really it is based on His Highness's vision, and it's part of his legacy that he wants to leave about the sustainable city, and even little touches about how the homes, the rows of homes, one row is created and built a little bit higher.
elevated levels,
Yes, for
yes,
the
to
sake
control
of-
the temperature.
and the solar. There's actually, we did a video.
Yes.
And it's on my YouTube channel as well. So that we got into that little buggy.
Yes.
And just were driven around to be able to finally visually showcase. And then we did some of the show apartments and show villas. And oh my goodness, on how beautiful. You're going to have visitors there. You're going to have people visiting the convention, which is going to be now taking over as the busiest convention center. That's the goal.
Exactly. They have built two of the largest exhibition centers inside over there.
Right.
Which, from what I've heard, is that they're planning to move all the future exhibitions that will take place in Trade Center will be diverting all over there.
Over there. So that's short term.
Exactly.
Then you have the base of so many different headquarters like Siemens, Emirates, etc. So you have
Which
people,
are already operating
they're already
over
operating.
there. If people are not aware
So
of it,
now
yes.
you're talking about long-term rentals for people that are working there and can just walk.
Commercial,
Yes.
retail.
And you're closest
Correct.
to what's going to be the largest airport in the world.
In the world. Maktoum
So
Airport.
when someone says, "Oh, it's too far out," what is it? 17 minutes to the marina?
Spots around that, yeah.
Okay, and so that is another really exciting investment opportunity, specifically
Correct.
for capital appreciation, short-term rentals, long-term rentals, and being able to leverage the least amount of investment because of that extremely
plan.
attractive payment plan, which is based on the fact that this is a government project that's not necessarily looking after profit margins,
Exactly.
but is looking after their brand, and it's something that's passionate for them. And
Being a government project, you need to bear one thing in mind, that this particular project, this particular community will be an ongoing branding for as long
yes, you're
as
right.
it exists,
Yes.
because it's Sheikh Mohammed's personal
His baby.
It's
Yeah,
baby,
yeah.
so it will be a global branding, unlike other projects
Yes.
which we discussed previously. Once the project is sold out, they forget about it, they move on, start promoting the next project.
Yes.
But that will not be the case with Expo City.
I love it.
Expo City will be forever and ever, because they keep expanding, and so much is happening and so much is planned for the future over there it will definitely be a global branding, which is very good for our investors.
So to wrap this part of it up, as far as what's in Dubai, and then I want to touch upon one more place that's outside of Dubai. I believe that these are constants right now for the near future. There will be additions because we don't know clearly. They're
upcoming.
they're
Of
always
course.
building. There's always
Yes.
something, and we
not
get
catching-
we get 1 week notice that something is being built.
we're not able to catch up with the demand, Gigi.
Exactly.
To answer a lot of people's question, are we oversupplied? People don't understand who don't live in Dubai to see what's happening and taking place in Dubai. Last year we had 60,000 families that migrated to Dubai. That's a huge number. So imagine when people say supply versus demand, we're going to be oversupplied. How is that possible? If each developer is launching a high-rise tower with 250 units, and then you have 50, 60,000 people migrating in Dubai.
It's not enough.
How are we meeting that demand?
And remember that Dubai operates like a business.
Exactly.
So you have RERA and the Dubai Land Department and the government working with these developers about when they can launch. So there's that constant, Dr. Mahmoud Al-Barai that I had on here, a senior advisor for the Dubai Land Department, said that there's this constant balance that they are strategically creating,
Of course,
to ensure that there's not so much demand and such a little supply that it's unaffordable, but that there's just enough to keep the people that are moving there and investors satisfied with the opportunities here in Dubai. So I think for right now, these are great places to focus on until you and I have access to more information about what may be in the future. But what is the one place just outside of Dubai that is also an incredible investment opportunity?
your favorite, of course, Ras Al Khaimah,
Ras Al Khaimah. And
the Marjan Island.
so if we just talk a little bit about this area, right? You have these clusters,
4 clusters.
4 clusters, and it is an emirate, and it's about 45, 50 minutes from Dubai drive. But they will eventually have their own airport, I believe.
Correct.
And it is the site, Marjan Island is the site of the first and only approved gaming casino in the entire GCC region, the Wynn. And it's a $4 billion casino that is already broken ground.
Correct.
And then you have these internationally renowned hotel residence names that are building these residential investment opportunities that are going to be incredible investment opportunities right next to the Wynn.
Correct.
And this is again where it's important to know which developers. Some will is trying to attract a more higher clientele and not allow short-term Airbnb. So if that's your goal, we know how to direct you there.
Exactly.
Some are, it's going to be great for short-term Airbnb and beach club vibe and attracting the Europeans that are going to be coming here. If that's your goal, we can help direct you there. But right now, the prices per square foot are even less than.
Of course, they're extremely affordable at the moment. So if people are taking their time and they cannot make that decision to enter right now, trust me, they'll be paying a lot more per square footage what they are going to be paying right now. One of the biggest decisions people need to make if they want to decide to invest in Ras Al Khaimah is whether do they want to go with a branded project or a non-branded project, because of course there's going to be a price difference. And you know me, I always believe if you're going to go with a branded project, it has to be a hospitality brand, because that's what they specialize in. I don't believe, and I apologize for saying that, I don't believe in selling residentials that are associated with auto brands, jewelry
Which
brands.
those are very successful
Of
right
course,
now.
don't get me wrong, they are successful.
But your personal.
But I feel, for example, if that particular building is not running on a Lamborghini engine, then I don't see the reason behind why would you pay an arm and a leg basically for a branded associated with such brands. But with the hospitality brand, we're looking at a history. That's what they specialize in. They know exactly what needs to be done to make that project successful, wanted. They know exactly how to market that product out there globally. They know exactly what the guest is looking for once he just steps inside the lobby. That first impression is always the last impression.
Yes.
So they look for these details. I myself am a very detail-oriented person coming from a hospitality background. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what my major was. I worked for the Grand Hyatt for almost since I was 17 years old. So we have that eye for it. And these developers who are launching and marketing these hotel hospitality branded project, it's definitely a win-win situation for me.
Jackpot. So thank you, Ahmed. I believe we covered a nice array of information with regards to where our investors should be looking at right now.
Definitely.
And with that, I will say that this is the time to reach out to secure your expressions of interest and to help us help you with regards to strategizing your investment portfolio here in Dubai and the greater UAE, if Ras Al Khaimah is on your radar as well. So please make sure to like, subscribe, follow, And stay tuned for the next episode of the Dubai Connects podcast. This is season 2 of the Dubai Connect podcast.